Hello, hello. This is the English sessions. Okay, this is the English sessions. Okay. Today's date is 19th March 2021, and today we are recording at the morning. Actually, in the morning, actually, it looks really good. It is something really great, and it has really nice. I don't know what's the word or vibe. Yeah, it's vibe. It's really good. Um, what is I'm gonna talking about? Yeah, I didn't really make yesterday English session. I didn't really make English session at yesterday. Yes, because of that key. I was continuously busy on exporting my files. Okay, I exported. Yes, I completely exported because those are the really huge files. Okay, but I exported. Okay, in two parts actually. So it was good. It was good. It was good. Yes. Um, but the yesterday is not much productive as you compare it is. Yes, because I didn't really did. I just export and I just wait. But most of the time, it just electricity went out. Okay, so it just like most of the time I just been really just to wait for the electricity came back and I will start whatever. But another thing is that I also found out something really much great and much more really amazing. Yeah, skills are really important. Yeah, if you have a skills, then you can use anything you can. Okay, because for my perspective is skills you have every time with you, whatever the situation you have. If you have a gear or non gear, it doesn't matter. Yes, it matters a skill. Okay, so have you a skill? It was really good. It was really amazing. Okay, so always first develop a skill. Okay, and also follow that skill also, because most of the people don't really follow. I also don't really follow. I really found out, and it's really bad thing. Yeah, and but still, whatever. So there are so many things we need to cover. Yeah, about there are the short tips about how to things done, how to fly a drone, or how to do something much. Okay, so basically, ah, oh boy. Now we are talking about tips for creating vertical video. And what are the vertical video and why is so popular? Actually, vertical video is meant to be for the social media. For social media, for this kind of video is made for the social media, like Instagram, Facebook, or should we say TikTok? Yeah. Because if we have a landscape video, it will look on screen is kind of like a really narrow. Okay, and everyone doesn't have a time to just split out their screen and watch the entire video. It's kind of like a most of the people don't really do whatever they have. They just watch on that specific screen and that's it. That's fine. Okay. So it just like as a social media, the people who are knows about how to deal with the social media, or how it's kind of like they are thinking like, what if we can make a vertical video? Vertical video is kind of like a much bigger in the vertical screen, and most of the social media home pages are kind of like vertical pages. So it's kind of like a vertical video. It belongs to for the cell phone, because most of the people are actually surfing or going through the internet by the mobile phone actually. Yes. So mobile phone is kind of like a being really essential. I'm saying is that almost like a 80 to 82% of people are browsing internet through the mobile phone. Okay, so it's just like you most of the people are kind of like using internet through the mobile. So it's just like, what if we create a video for the mobile user, like vertical video? Okay, so basically they didn't need to switch their screen from they didn't their rotate their screen from vertical to landscape, and actually it's look really good and it's look really nice. Yeah, but there are so many things we do need to understand. Okay, like why and how we shoot that vertical videos, and what are the things are really important while doing it that. So let's just talk. Okay, first of all is camera orientation. Okay, if you just need to do your camera to the orientation, like you just need to shoot like vertical. Okay, if you are thinking I'm shooting like a horizontal, then I crop it and then I will make it as a vertical video, then it won't be happen at all, trust me. You just need to shoot exactly like a vertical video. The when you are shooting, then you are adjust the frame and adjust everything, and it just looks really good. Yeah, if you are kind of like a doing if you are sticking at just like a horizontal way, and but you cannot figure it out while horizontal way, because you are setting your composition belongs to the horizontal way. Okay, but and it is much more difficult when you are fixing this mistake on the post. Okay, so I'm kindly suggestion is just like, if you are making vertical video, then shoot at vertical video. It's really good and it's really nice. Okay, so shoot at vertical video, that means you cannot crop video at all. Okay, and you are using complete resolution that camera will give us to you, and that is really good. You can also set your composition and set your framing as also, and it is really good. Okay, so if you are using video as a vertical, okay, so shoot at a vertical. Okay, it's really good. So set your camera orientation at the vertical point and shoot by this way. It will be really helpful for you. Handle shooting equipment. Obviously, it's just like a vertical video are made for the mobile phones. Yes, but actually you are shooting. Actually, you are shooting a kind of like a really professional work or something really much bigger. Okay, so basically at that time you don't really use cell phone. So how do we shoot? How do you shoot vertical videos from the DSLR or any other camera? Okay, so basically you just tilt your camera. Okay, tilt your camera to vertical way. Okay, so if I am saying this thing, it's kind of like a looks really easy. Yeah, we can do this thing, but practically it's kind of like a being really difficult. Like our hand and our camera has to be made for the horizontal video. Okay, they actually really stable at the horizontal video, and everything is kind of like looks good on the horizontal video. But if you are switching your camera to horizontal to vertical, so everything is gonna be something really different. Like camera will be a little bit amount of shake, and there is some sort of jerk, and you are kind of like really difficult to handling focus, or it's kind of like really difficult to adjust the frame, because if you are using vertical, that means kind of like a really small amount of space happened for the character. Like right now I am shooting at the horizontal, so basically I have so much space, so whatever I go I can use my complete screen. But what if I use my vertical, so I have just like this screen. Okay, so I just move from this way to this way, I cannot go that way. So it's just like, if I am doing this, it's kind of like a being really difficult to make something like that. So properly in just like a use kind of like a equipment which are meant to be handheld for vertical, like some sort of gear or anything. Okay. Why I'm not saying is that you cannot make vertical video without this gear. No, it's not that. You can make vertical video without all those gear. Yeah, has also rig. But it's just like if you are shooting kind of like a really long shooting and you are take by take, your hand will be shake. Okay. And obviously there are no tripod slot on the vertical, so basically it's kind of like a being really difficult. But it's the new camera is arrived, they have some sort of slot on the vertical mount, so it's really good. But it just like these kind of like a capability has just new launch camera, but previously, like I'm talking about Canon Canon Mark 4 or Mark 5. Okay, they didn't have a really vertical vertical stand for mounting the camera vertical on the tripod, so it's kind of like a being really difficult. So at that time you are completely using by your handheld. Okay, so there is little bit of shake is always be happen. There is also one thing is that use gimbal. Okay, gimbal will be really good, but for those things you didn't have any slot on the vertical mode, so basically you need to use L bracket. What is exactly L bracket? L bracket is kind of like a bracket which is mounted on the bottom of your camera, which is on the horizontal, but which is actually in the L shape, so you can use this camera as a vertical on the gimbal, so everything looks really stable. But you just need to balance the camera also. So, and most of the camera didn't really have a L bracket or didn't really fit on the L bracket on the gimbal, so basically you just need to find out which camera do you have, which gimbal do you have, and is this L bracket is kind of like a belongs to that camera and as also gimbal. So it's kind of like you need to figure it out all those things, and then but having those gear, if you have those gear or like a rig or some sort of gimbal which is mounted vertical on the gimbal, so it's really good, like you can get really stable shot and everything. But if you don't have these kind of like equipment or gear, so you meant to be handled with your handheld, so that is the only way you have. Okay. Stabilized shooting equipment like a gimbal. Yeah, already says that having a gimbal is kind of like a really good, because kind of like most of the video have a really some sort of movement from one to another position, so you definitely need a gimbal. Having a gimbal is really good. Okay. Following moving object, practice your camera movement again and again. Okay, there is a one thing is that if you are using video, if you are making video on the on vertical, so it's been kind of like a really difficult to do something like that. Because of that, you have a really short frame. Okay, so it's just like you just need to keep distance from the subject, so that means you can capture a big complete medium shot or long shot of the subject. Okay. But if you want to be close up, so that means you are filling the complete frame from this character. Okay, from this subject. So because of that, you are shooting at the vertical. So sometimes it's kind of like a really difficult to do something like that, because you are kind of like meant to be like a horizontal video, like you are following a rule of thirds and everything. So basically it's kind of like something really difficult happen when you are shooting at the vertical video, but it just like things happen. Okay, you just need to shoot, you just need to practice the practice, and then will be good things happen. Okay. Yeah. Anticipate the movement of the subject. First of all, it's just like a subject is kind of like filling the complete frame of the vertical video. Okay, so basically is subject is making some sort of little movement from one position to another position. So if the subject does something like that, the subject will be out of the frame. Okay. And whatever the gimbal or whatever the equipment do you have, you need to adjust your frame as also, okay, according to the subject. Okay, it's just like right now I'm the same example. Right now I'm shooting at the horizontal video, so basically I make movement like this, quick movement. So I'm not out of the frame. Actually I'm in the frame, and I don't need to set my composition from a different angle or different anything, or I don't want to change my camera movement. It's kind of like a fix, and everything looks really good. But in vertical video, if you make something movement from kind of like a look this, so it just suddenly you are kind of like out of the frame. Okay, so you are kind of like practicing on those things. Once you are practice, it will be done. Distance from the subject and digital zoom to the subject. Okay, so what is exactly you have to do? Okay, so if you have it's just like a digital zoom. I'm not actually saying something like that, because if you are kind of like a digitally zooming the subject, that means you are cropping the frame. Okay, so and cropping the frames, that means you are kind of like using really less resolution, and that camera is providing, like if you are zooming. So I'm not kind of like giving you that tip that you need to use digital zoom, because digital zoom is not gonna good. Okay, if you are zooming little bit, that is okay, but not too much. Yeah, but because if suddenly you are zooming it also depend on your resolution. Like if you are recording at 8K, and then you are kind of like doing something digital zoom, so it will be really okay. Like if you are zooming at to the subject, so that means you are cropping your frame from 8K to 6K or 5K or 4K maybe. Okay, but might be if you are using your resolution like 1080p, and you are kind of like zoom in on the digital, so that means you are kind of like cropping your frame to the 480 or 360 pixels. So basically if you are using that resolution, that means it suddenly see the quality of the video. It definitely will affect on the quality of the video. So basically I am not recommending to use the digital zoom. It's not good. Composition is really difficult to adjust in a vertical frame. Yes, because of that, in the rule of third, you need to set your object from 1/3 of subject. Okay, it belongs to the situation, it belongs to the story. Okay, but it's just like if you are using kind of like doing something vertical video, so it's being really difficult, but it's not that difficult. You just need to you just need to away from the subject and take some photos or take some videos. Okay, it is also really good because you have a space, and then you can do composition. Like right now I am doing like this kind of space is really much bigger than this kind of space, so this is kind of like a really good composition. Okay, so having a good composition, it's really good, and viewer is really like. But this kind of space is too much. Don't take that space on the vertical video. Okay, take like this space. So it's just like I am kind of like a here, so basically set the distance which is that here and is also just that here. Okay, so it's really important. Background composition 50 mm is good for the vertical video. Actually 50 mm is better for everything. Actually most of the videographer and most of the photographer use 50 mm. 50 mm is the best focal length for everything. Okay, trust me, it's kind of like it's just like you have a 50 mm prime lens, that's it. Okay, it's just like it works for everywhere, it works for so much. But also it depends upon some sort of situation, like you have to zoom in, so at that time you need to have a variable focal length, but 50 mm lens is best for the vertical video. Use entire vertical space and adding a text. Okay, it's just like you are kind of like a using as a vertical actually. So basically that means your resolution will be 9 by 16. Okay, 16 by 9 for vertical, sorry, horizontal. And if you are using vertical, so that means you are using resolution as 9 by 16, which is completely opposite to the horizontal. Okay, so is that means that you are kind of like a really long height. Okay, the height of your video is kind of like a really much bigger, and most of the time you don't really need that height. Like if you are kind of like a using a vertical video, that means the important part of the video is kind of like a face, and another part is not really important. So at that blank space you can use a text, or some sort of text is kind of like a really good, that people can read that text and understanding what is the content that the person is going to tell us or something, or what is that. So adding a text is really good. Most of the vertical video is meant for the telling things in a really short distance amount of time with the text and other layer. And you can also set the block, like a video block, like in a vertical video you have a really long height, so that means you can use this advantage. So you can use as a block of video block actually. So you can use like this is one block, this is another block, and this is another block. You can use as a vertical block for telling things which is related to the story, and which is also really good. And it is so many content at a really small distance amount of time, so it feels really good. You cannot do in the horizontal, because horizontal actually meant for the single frame and it looks really good. But if you are using multiple blocks on the video, it's just like audience will kind of like really confused where to watch. But in the vertical video it's kind of like a really cool, like if you are using your subject in the center of the video, and you are shifting the video blocks upper side and bottom side. So at that time you can, whatever the guy is telling about that particular things or brand, you can set b-roll on that, b-roll on the top and bottom of the block, and it looks really good. Most of the people does something like that, and it was way even better, and it will definitely increase your production quality. So yeah. Posting on the social media. Okay, so is this vertical video is meant for the social media. So using a social media, what is exactly social media for vertical video? What is their resolution? Actually, if you are using a complete horizontal video, so your resolution will be 9 by 16. As I say earlier, it's kind of like a 9 by 16, which is completely opposite to the horizontal. Okay, but most of the Instagram doesn't use 6 by 9, they are use 4 by 3. 4 by 3 is kind of like a really I'm not saying is that, but it's kind of like a really less than 9 by 6, which is kind of like a really square. Okay, it's for the Instagram actually, because Instagram is using 4 by 3 resolution for a video, photos and everything. Yeah, Instagram Reels has also supporting 9 by 16 as also, but having this 4 by 9, sorry, 4 by 9, yeah, 4 by 9 aspect ratio is best for the Instagram. Yeah, it's meant to be. Okay, there is a really important for one thing is that your vertical video is not meant for watching long video. Trust me, yes. Like if you are using a horizontal video is meant for the videos, like people can see, people can sit, and people can watch, and it's look really good, it's look really comfortable, and you can shoot and you can edit and you can watch really easily. But if you are kind of like using a vertical video, so vertical video has a really good amount of popularity. Most of the people watch, most of the people love it. But there are most important thing is that you don't make video much longer, more than 1 minute. Okay, and which is really less time for the video, trust me. So basically most of the ad agency use these aspect ratios for campaigning on the social media and other field. Okay, So it is really meant to be, because they have to tell the information in just like a less than a 1 minute. Okay, so it's really good, but you cannot use vertical video as a full movie or a full document or more than 1 minute. It's kind of like a really not so good, and people don't really love it, and people are kind of like getting really bored, because vertical video is meant for the scrolling. If that video is doesn't be feel really good and doesn't feel like a really excite the people, then people don't really watch. Yeah, people easily skip it, because vertical video is not meant for the long period of time for watching actually. So you do need to understand, if you are using as a vertical video, or if you are recording some of the vertical video, make a video less than a minute. It will be really good and it will be really great. So these are the all tips for the making vertical video. What are the things you do need to understand while vertical video? First thing is camera orientation, everything I already explained all those things, so you just need to go and check back. So it's really good, yeah, it's really nice. So yes, this is it. Also I need to talk about so low light photography. I already mentioned about the low light photography. Actually, what are the things you do need to understand while low light photography? So I already tell about all those things. Successful YouTube channel, I also tell about all those things. How to look subscribe on the YouTube years. Yeah, I also tell all those things. Okay, so what are you doing today? Okay, right now I am completely focused on my editing. I already export my video, stabilize. So what is I'm gonna doing is that I need to complete 2 video at the end of the day, so I can upload tomorrow. Okay, but actually it's depend on my machine and everything, because it's just like I didn't need to do anything. Yeah, I just need to put the so many audio clips and just a little bit of color grading, and then I just export, and then I just compress that video. Okay, so that not that too much. Okay, but make something really much beautiful that people love it. But I'm saying is that if you are but people don't really watch those things. Yeah, it's just like whoever the people have, they will love it and they will watch it. I didn't really interest while watching straight video. I evenly get really bored while watching this video. But still, it's just like it's a night video, so definitely some people will watch or some people don't really watch. It's depend on the people or something. Let the YouTube will handle how will people will watch those video or not. Okay. So still then everything is fine, is good. Obviously I will take multiple English session, because it will really helpful for me for my everything. Okay, so understanding that thing is really important. So let's go, let's leave it. This is the end, and thank you.